We have a little selection of remote jobs for you today, hopefully something for everyone. We have a job pulling medical records, one reconciling payments. Some of these jobs want very little experience and most don't require a degree. Let's scan through them. I'm going to start off with a job that's mid-level and it comes to us from Baby List. They have an opening for an insurance billing specialist. This job is full-time remote anywhere within the United States, no location restrictions, and they tell us they operate on a Pacific Standard Time schedule, Monday through Friday, and this job has 2 shift options from which to choose. So you can work 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time, which translates to 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, or you can work 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and that translates to 11:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Regardless of your location, you're expected to work Pacific Time Zone hours. So this is your typical insurance billing kind of job where you'll help families access the medical equipment they need by executing accurate, timely, and compliant billing workflows. You'll be responsible for day-to-day tasks across the DME billing cycle, including insurance eligibility verification, claim submissions, EOB interpretation, appeals, and aged account resolution. And what they want from you is about 3 years direct experience in DME billing and insurance reimbursement, managing the full claim lifecycle from eligibility verification through appeals and collections. You're able to interpret and review EOBs, and you've worked extensively in Brightree and Nico Health or comparable billing platforms. You're comfortable navigating EMRs, and you have a working understanding of CPT, HCPCS, ICD-10, and relevant DMA billing regulations such as HIPAA, CMS, and ERISA. So that's the gist of what you're going to do in this position and what they expect from you. And scrolling down towards the bottom of this job description, they tell us they'll pay you between $65,155 and $78,225 per year. Mindset Care is a team of Social Security disability lawyers. They have an opening for a medical records coordinator. This job is full-time remote anywhere within the United States, and you can see right here they want you to have some Social Security disability experience. I'll get into the details on that in just a minute. So in this job, you're going to do a whole bunch of administrative work, processing documents, pushing around papers. You're going to assist people who want to get Social Security disability insurance. That means you'll review and process medical option packets, which can include compiling documents within a client's file, writing a letter to an expert, those sort of things. And you'll also create forms and assist with process improvement, uploading and downloading documentation from online portals, and organizing claims. They want you to have about 2 years related experience or an equivalent combination of related education and experience. You also have business English, proofreading, and editing techniques. You have a reliable internet connection and an associate's degree. And then you need your typical soft skills. And they have a couple preferred qualifications. They're only preferred, they're not required. They prefer you have experience working in a remote or virtual office environment. They also prefer you have knowledge of virtual phone systems and online scheduling software. And they tell us you'll work Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You don't have to live in the Eastern Time Zone. Just translate your local hours to those hours. And they tell us on this job description they'll pay you $18 to $24 per hour. Bicycle Health is looking for a financial coordinator to work full-time remotely anywhere within the United States. You'll work Monday through Friday from noon to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You don't have to live in the Eastern Time Zone. Just translate your local hours to those hours. And your main responsibility in this job will be to provide patients with financial information and support they need to successfully navigate their recovery journeys. You'll assist patients with questions regarding insurance, billing inquiries, payments, and subscription renewals, document financial clearance information, updating demographic, insurance, funding, and medical information as needed, and research and discuss financial options with patients for services not reimbursable by third-party payers. So I find this interesting. They tell us the technology they use in this position: Freshworks, BritX, G Suite, Zoom, as well as electronic medical records systems. If you're familiar with these products, awesome. If not, I recommend doing a quick internet search. Get as familiar as you can. And they have more details as far as what you might do on a regular basis. If interested in this job, just go ahead and read through the details. Now for this one, they want you to have about 2 years experience in a high-touch customer service or healthcare environment. You're comfortable using computers, and they prefer you have experience with Mac, Apple, and Google Suite. And as we scroll back up to the top of the job description, they tell us right here they'll pay you $25 per hour, plus give you a $50 monthly remote work stipend. VetCove has an opening for a purchasing coordinator. This job is full-time remote anywhere within the United States, no location restrictions, and what you do is some inventory planning and management, purchase order management, external collaboration. You'll do some process improvement as well as data analysis. You also do some inventory monitoring, performance reporting, audits, and internal collaboration. They want you to have about 2 years experience in procurement and inventory management, preferably in a high-growth environment. You're analytical, a good communicator, you have a collaborative spirit, you also have technical skills, strong prioritization abilities, and attention to detail. And as far as the salary, scrolling around a little bit, down here they tell us they'll pay you $60,000 to $110,000 per year. If you live in Colorado, the salary range is $70,000 to $90,000 per year, and you get bonus, equity, and benefits. Now, I do want to mention this. They tell us the application deadline is March 1st, 2026. So here's an easy remote job as a payment specialist, but you need to get your application in by January 23rd, 2026. That's just around the corner, so if you like this job, make sure to get your application in right away. So Aflac has an opening for a payment specialist. This job is full-time remote anywhere within the United States. And what you're going to do in this position is reconcile disability and statutory payments. You review disability and absence claim files for variances and match relevant details to benefit payment calculations. You also coordinate with disability case managers and applicable statutory states for selected groups, ensuring compliance and facilitating the resolution of related questions and concerns. You also research pending payments and take necessary actions to resolve issues and analyze and handle service requirements from various sources associated with complex accounts. And to qualify for this job, they want you to have knowledge of principles, concepts, practices, and procedures of IRS codes, regulations, and procedures. You also have knowledge of billing procedures, plan codes, and premiums. You have good administrative skills, and then your typical soft skills. You need a high school diploma or equivalent, and they'd like you to have about 2 or more years of work-related experience or an equivalent combination of education and experience. And they prefer you have STD, LOA, product knowledge, and or finance experience. And as far as the salary, scrolling down here, they tell us they'll pay you $50,000 to $70,000 per year. The last remote job I'm sharing comes to us from Essential Anesthesia Management. This one is for a payroll coordinator. It's full-time remote anywhere within the United States. And what you do is ensure accurate, timely, and compliant payroll processing for anesthesia providers and corporate staff across multiple locations. You'll manage payroll, resolve discrepancies, support audits, and ensure providers and corporate employees are paid correctly based on schedules, contracts, and compensation structures. So there's really not much more I can say about this job. That pretty much sums it up. They have more details. If interested, go ahead and read through the details. To qualify, you need your typical soft skills. You're comfortable using computers, including payroll-related programs. You have strong data entry, reconciliation, and reporting skills. And they prefer you have some knowledge of medical terminology. You need a high school diploma or equivalent, and they'd like you to have an associate's or bachelor's degree in accounting, finance, business administration, or a related field. They want you to have 1 to 3 years payroll, accounting, or administrative experience, preferably in a healthcare or multi-site environment. They strongly prefer you have experience processing payroll for both W-2 employees and 1099 contractors, and it's highly desirable but not required. Highly desirable you have prior experience with Paychex and Paycom. They don't tell us how much they pay for this job, but based on my experience looking at similar roles, I think this job could pay anywhere from $50,000 to $55,000 per year, but that's just based on my experience looking at similar roles. How much you'll really make in this position, you'll have to work out with them. So that does it for the remote jobs I have for you today. Hopefully one of them works out for you, and if you're looking for more remote opportunities, check out this video right here. Have a great day, take care, and I'll catch you on the next one.